Welcome back to Open Brave Learning. Today at the hobby desk I want to talk to you about the tools I use to get adequate paint jobs on these sort of guys. I use a lot of tools that are quite cheap and easy to get. I was talking to a friend recently about this sort of stuff and ended up sending him a big wall of text. So it's just easier to put this out into the world in the form of a video and show what I'm talking about. Brushes. Probably the most obvious thing to start with is going to be brushes. These are generally the ones that I buy. They're cheap. We get them at Spotlight. Generally cost $2 or $3 at a time. This one, size 1, that's probably the biggest size I normally go. We've got 3 O's and 0s here. Spotlight just had a sale, so I stocked up. But there's a few used ones in here, you can see. Why do I use cheap brushes? Because they're replaceable. I'm not a great painter. I'm not going to get a lot of use out of an expensive paintbrush. It's not going to do me very good. I'm not going to be able to take care of it well. When these go bust, when I wear them out, I'll see if I've got an example of a worn out one. Alright, you see this guy, he's got hairs hanging out everywhere. He's got pigments trapped in him. You can see especially there in the shadow, it's all a bit wiggly woggly. I can use him for rougher stuff, things like dry brushing, and eventually just throw it in the bin, and I won't feel bad about the couple of hours use that I got out of it for $2 to throw that in the bin. I did pick up a huge lot of these ones here that say Joe Art on them. You'll see these are Jas Art, upside down. Okay, from China. But these ones say Joe Art. I picked these up on online budget retailer that I won't name because I don't know what all those rules are yet. Absolute garbage. So know what you're buying. Why I don't like these ones. The bristles are very long and very bendy. So yes, they're a nice fine point, but they can't actually get in there and touch anything. If we compare the length of the two, bristle-wise, okay, I like a nice short bristle. They're less flexible, they don't push out as much. So even on that worn bristle, so you're getting less push, less fanning. So that's brushes. We'll talk paints. I like this brand of paints. I've put a little doodah on top here, which I'm just in the process today. I'm going to start painting all these in each of the bottle colours, just so I can see what colour they each are. I like this paint, it's nice and cheap, and I get as good a results as I'm able to do with my skill level out of this brand. When it comes to priming, I'll generally go with spray pack, and I'll get that spray pack in grey. Why grey? Because I paint in lots of different colours. Grey's nice and neutral, everything goes on top of it. Black's hard to cover, white doesn't give you enough pigment, grey's a nice middle ground. Next thing I like is a wet palette. Now this one is a purchase one. Okay, again off the online cheap retailer. This actually came in quite nice. It's got a nice sponge, holds lots of water. It's been a little while since I've painted. And a bunch of essentially oven paper. cut to size. And this, it's a nice size to do a session of painting, throw away the paper, happy days. You can make your own, which I do when I'm painting with my children. As you can see, this one's been through the ringer a lot more. And I do use kitchen paper, like baking paper, with some paper towel or sponge or something underneath it. Works just as well. The next thing I really recommend using are these sponges. Cheap, nasty cleaning sponges. Pick them up at Coles. Pick them up at Coles. I've had these forever. Want to dry your brush off? Use this. It won't leave lint on your brush like paper will. You've loaded the kids have loaded their brush up too much with paint. They've left huge marks there. But they last you forever. They absorb all the water really well. And they don't leave a mess on your brush. They don't tear it up. As long as you do like a draw, which you should be doing anyway, whether you're using paper or whatever you're doing, not doing you should be golden. Much like that, and we got these in it was either the Coles little special section or the Aldi one. Little makeup sponges. Okay. Great for dabbing off extra oils or washes from the high points. Dab, dab, dab. Applying to large sections of vehicles, things like that. Just a handy little tool of a nice dense sponge that you can use. While we're in the beauty aisle, nail emery boards. These ones I picked up like 100 of them for a couple of dollars, again off the budget website. Good for just knocking down those little bits of moulding that get left on the figures. Just take it off. You can also get, if you're shopping on the right websites, cheap diamond files that do the same job, just a little bit nicer. You feel a little bit more schmick using them if you're going to be doing a lot of it. And you can also pick up from those same places, often marketed for tattoos or nail polish. And they mix up your paint really well, even if it is a bit noisy. What else? Not essential, but I've found it very handy, is a pair of googly eye glasses with the LED light in it. Makes you look ridiculous, but I find it really helps. Again, I think I paid $15 for these, so not too bad once I got into it. Just saves a bit of eye strain, makes it a bit more enjoyable. Alright, next up we have holders. These two I have 3D printed. This one obviously not great quality. Hopefully I can show you some better 3D printing than that down the line. Okay, this one, just different style. And this one does the same job. Bit of blue tack. Pop him on the lid. Get our guy. And now our fingers aren't getting paint on them, especially if we're painting around the base. We can hold him upside down. We can hold him all around. Nice and easy. Only real downside is you're not getting your 10 cents back, but it's a pretty good way to do it. You want to change him out for another guy, you can just change out your lid. Undo the lid, sit him down to dry, Put the next lid on, new guy, new holder. It's a really good system to do it, especially when you're doing multiple guys. Empty jam jars. I always recommend 2. One for pretty much all of your paints, the other for your metallics. Okay, the reason being, metallic paints have got small flecks of essentially glitter in them. And once they get washed off in your normal water, you're going to get small flecks in the rest of your paint after you've washed your brush. It's just going to impact certain things, and it'll be the one time that you don't want that little bit of sparkle. It's going to show up just because of Murphy's Law. So just to help with that, have one for standard paints, one for metallic paints, both just with water in them. And they don't look like my water cup or my tea mug, so I'm less likely to drink my paint water. Almost there, we have eggs. Okay, egg carton, great way to store, especially while you don't have too many. Store all your little guys. Okay, they're in their own little place. They don't bang around too much. Okay, I've got one of the first ones I ever did back as a kid in here. Alright, I find it's a really good way to store them, especially the finished ones, so that you're not banging up your paint job. It's just how I like to do it. It's cheap, easy, know what you got. And my last essentials, anything that makes it enjoyable. Music, podcasts, some comedy. Put something on if that's what you're into. Something to listen to while you paint. A cup of tea, a candle. Make it a comfortable, nice place that you enjoy doing. Even better if there's someone else doing it with you. I love painting with my kids. They love doing it. They've got a little bit less patience for it than I do, but they'll get there. My only suggestion would be stay away from things that make your fingers all greasy. Dirty fingered snacks. I wouldn't do that. But nothing better than a cup of tea, and I like smelly candles. So they're often staples when it's painting time. And often a good podcast, some comedy or music in the background, something like that. Just something in the background, because that's what I like as I'm painting, especially when I'm out here in the hobby hole on my own. But that's all for this one. I'll talk to you next time.